So this is now my third time filming the intro to this video. I filmed it twice now. The first time the video got corrupt. The second time my mic battery was dead, so I didn't have any audio. And here we are, third time's a charm. Let's hope it works out. So my last upload was actually almost a year ago. It was on June 28th of last year, which like I said is almost a year. It's just over 10 months. And as you can see, my hair really hasn't changed since then. I don't really have an excuse for not uploading. I honestly just kind of lost motivation, as a lot of us did last year, kind of throughout the whole COVID thing. You know, going in and out of lockdowns and quarantine and stuff like that. Yeah, I just kind of lost all my motivation to kind of create videos and upload them. And to be completely honest, the only real excuse I have is that I was working 2 jobs in the fall, which kind of soaked up a little bit more of my free time. But even then, I still had time to record and make videos. I just didn't have any motivation at all to do so. And like I said, I hope this is kind of a step in the right direction to actually get back into uploading. It's going to be a slow process into uploading more than I did last year. I've always wanted to upload more than I did last year, because last year I was only doing about a video per month, give or take. So I'm hoping I can upload once every week or 2 weeks, something like that. I don't really know yet, but this is going to be my first step into getting back onto YouTube. So my hair, obviously it is cut. The thumbnail was actually about three and a half weeks ago when I first got my hair cut. And now it is shorter, as you can see. Yeah, I was kind of rushed that day because that was actually the day I was getting my hair cut, so I didn't have time to film an intro or anything, which is why I'm doing it now. But yeah, I did grow out my hair for about 5 or 6 months. Not really out of choice, but because of lockdowns, no barbershops were open, and honestly I kind of did want to grow out my hair and just see, you know, how far I could get along before I got annoyed, and clearly only got 5 or 6 months because we're back to the short sides, which honestly I prefer so much more. I like the natural look, but it was just a little bit too annoying for me, and it's starting to get warmer out here, and I just don't really want to mess around with long hair when the weather's when the weather's hot. So enough ranting, let's get right into what this video is all about, and that is the hairstyle. So I made some notes on my phone here about today's video and kind of the steps that I took to get the hairstyle I got. So let's start off with wetting our hair. Like always, pretty much every one of my videos we start with wet hair, and from there you're just going to towel dry it. You want to get all that excess water out to kind of just give yourself a blank canvas to work around for the hairstyle. And then now that it's a little bit more dry, we can actually see the length. So in the top of the head it was around 7 to 8 inches. I don't know exact, I didn't measure it. And then for the sides, both sides are the same. They're about 2.5 inches at the top, and they do get a little bit shorter as it gets toward my sideburn. And then same with the back, it was about 2-3 inches at the very top in my crown, and it slowly got a little bit shorter as it worked down to kind of my nape area. And since my hair was so long, I'm actually going to start off with a little bit of pre-styler before I actually blow dry my hair. And of course I'm going to use Shampoo. It's been my go-to product for the last, I don't know, 3 years or so. But I'm also not going to use a whole lot of product. I'm going to use maybe a pea size or so. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to massage it into my hands and then get my hands a little bit damp, and then massage the water into my hands as well. And what this is going to do, it's going to make the product a little bit easier to kind of massage through your hair, because your hair is at its most fragile point when it's wet. So making the hair product a little bit more creamy just makes it that much easier, and kind of just gives less tugging and pulling on the hair itself. And then once your hair is totally saturated, you just take any sort of comb and comb it through to fully saturate the rest of your hair. And then now we're going to use a little bit of hairspray. This is optional, but I do it just to protect my hair from the heat of the blow dryer. I'm only going to use about 5 or 6 sprays of this. It has a really strong smell to it, so I don't want to overdo it. Kind of just enough to cover the whole head. And then again, we're going to comb that through just like the pre-styler. So for the first step here, we actually want to put the directional nozzle on. And if you don't know what this does, it's basically just going to help direct that heat as I'm blow drying the sides of my head straight back and down. It's just going to help direct the heat in that direction, so the hair is all laying flat. You just want to focus on the sides and the back. We're not really going to touch the top yet. I just want to get the sides and back as dry as they can. And now that that step is done, we're actually going to take the nozzle off and start drying the top. And we're going to do this by pulling the hair kind of straight up and just blow drying the roots. And what this is going to do, it's just going to give a little bit of volume in the hair. And then once you have that relatively dry, we're actually going to comb it straight back and look for a center part. I don't really have the same spot that I go to every single time I do this hairstyle. I actually just kind of randomly pick a spot to part it. So now that we have our center part, we're actually going to start by blow drying the top. And the way that I'm doing this is I'm actually just going to take the hair in bunches and kind of just scrunch it up, because it's going to create that natural movement and wave in our hair. You'll get a little bit of curls from it, but in the end that's kind of what we want, because it is kind of a natural messy hairstyle. Now that our hair is completely dry, you want to take your post-styling product. Now again, I go with Shavu because that has been my go-to product, like I said in the past. And I'm only going to use about a pea-size amount. Now, with styling your hair, the biggest thing that people mess up is A, either using too much, or B, not spreading it throughout your hair properly. So when you're taking your product, start small, and then if you need to add more, go back and add more after. You'll see I'm just scrunching the hair like I was doing with the blow dryer, and this is just gonna get the product saturated in my hair. I'm not pulling the hair in any straight direction at all. I'm just scrunching it for now. I'm just gonna get that product completely coated in my hair like you see. And then now that the product is completely spread out throughout our hair, this is when we can actually start styling it. Now here you can see I'm kind of pulling the hair in certain directions, and what this is gonna do, it's gonna reform that center part and kind of bring the hair down to the sides that we want it at. You can also see that I'm grabbing clumps of hair and kind of twisting it, and what this is going to do, it's going to give a little bit more separation and texture in your hair. And again, this is a super natural hairstyle, so you don't really have to worry about it being perfect. And here is the final product. This is kind of the hairstyle I've had for the first maybe 3-4 months of this year. I am happy to finally cut it off and go back a little bit shorter, but it was a really nice look when I had it. Alrighty, so that was the hairstyle and the look for today's video. Again, I apologize for the super long hiatus that I took. I am back and hopefully back in motion to start uploading again. I do have some fashion stuff planned in the next month or so that I'm gonna film. And also, if you guys wanna see some hairstyle stuff, just let me know down below in the comments what you want to see, and I will gladly take it into account. If you enjoyed today's video, click that like button. That obviously really helps me out. Let me know if you guys are growing out your hair, if you've kind of given up on the growing out your hair and, you know, maybe you shaved it all off, you got a buzz cut, or maybe you have had the luxury of getting your hair cut, you know, since the start of COVID. We've had 2 lockdowns now, so it hasn't been too bad. They've only been about 2 months or so, but I just kind of committed to growing out my hair because I was like, well, you know, I'm 2 or 3 months into this thing already, so we might as well see how far we can get. Yeah, clearly I didn't get too far. But that is unfortunately it for today's video. Oh, I will also have my Instagram link down below in the top of the description. It's not really hair related stuff on my Instagram, it's more so just fashion and clothing. But if you are into that sort of thing, definitely go drop me a follow down there. I will have it linked in the top of the description. And I think that is a wrap for today's video. I will see you guys very soon.